All right, guys, I actually have quite a bit different video for you today. I'm at an estate sale, and I'm super excited because guess what? I'm here a day early. Let's see what and all they got. So automatically, they've got some, like everything, like tools in the garage and stuff like that. Not necessarily what I'm looking for out here, but I know they've got some vintage toys, old retro tech, and probably some video games too. So let's get into it. And if you're wondering how and why I got into the sale early, I'll get into that shortly. So already seeing some cool retro tech here. Definitely liking the early vintage cameras. Gonna have to take a closer look at a lot of these. Got some Fujifilm, some JVC. That's kind of cool. Some of these retro cameras are just really dope. What you can do with them nowadays. Ooh, even has the remote with that one. I think I am gonna pull the trigger on this Cybershot as well as, I believe it's this one as well. It's another camera, but yeah, I mean, with the case and everything, might as well. And what do we have here? Some vintage PC games. Ooh, look at that. Daggerfall. If you're not aware, this is Elder Scroll. I just love seeing like just old like PC games like this. I mean, my gosh, that's like one of the greatest scenes of all time. Yeah, just super cool. I mean, if you don't know how good the music in this game is, I am so sorry. I'll just play some right now. What are these? These are $2 each. I think I'll have to grab a couple of these. So this is definitely a new experience for me. I've never had early access to a estate sale like this. And guys, check this out right here. This is what I'm talking about. Got some NES games. This is what I'm all about right here. Some NES, and they all look really nice condition. They all have the dust sleeves. They've got manuals with pretty much all of them. I'm gonna have to take a closer look at these and probably snag a few. Yeah, look at this. Got some Game Genie with the manual, 4-score. Even got a couple NES consoles over here. Power pad in the box. Ooh, look at this. I'll have to ask them about this. Just a stack of paperwork. What else we got over here? Some like vintage PC games. Ooh, old Sierra. Maybe there's more of these. I definitely like some old PC games, man, especially Sierra. That's kind of cool. So my wife, if you're not aware, is very much into vintage Singer stuff. I'm gonna have to take a couple of photos of this and see if it's something she might be interested in. I think Mickey's seen some stuff here. Oh my gosh, my buddy. Terrifying. I definitely remember having one of these as a kid. The commercial especially. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever I go, he goes. My buddy. Not terrifying at all. It turns out one of the ladies that lived here has like a doll making studio in the basement, which is kind of interesting. But look at this. We have a bunch of sealed VHS tapes. I might have to see what they want on these as well. And also some toys in here. Look at this. This is pretty dope. Ooh, that's kind of cool. The vintage turtle, $20. It's not bad. To check that out. And then also here had a massive box of Legos for $80. Definitely gonna take a closer look at that. That's super cool. There's also lots of vintage board games in here. There's a few that are kind of catching my eye for like one, just nostalgia. There's a really cool Indiana Jones crazy commercial and then Simon game. I think this is like actually the original Simon. So I don't think any of these are priced, but we might have to see what they want on these just because like, I mean, look at that. It's pretty dope. Definitely gonna ask about this one. All right, so let's take a look in this Lego bin. And right off the bat, I'm already seeing like some cool vintage paperwork. I mean, looks like there's many things galore, like little other parts and pieces that are probably hard to find. This looks very early Legos, so I don't know if I'm even gonna fully dig through this. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm buying this and just be cool with that, because I mean, I think this image alone just sold me on that. So yeah, I'm sure there's some rare pieces in here, but I'm not like super versed on Lego. Look at that. I think Donald agrees. Buy this Lego box. But then take a look at this room. We got a pinball machine, 1987 Williams Big Guns. Just ready to be played here at the estate sale. Just super dope. But this right here is actually the reason why I'm here. I saw that the guy running this sale, Dave, had this listed. And basically a friend of mine had showed me this estate sale. And so I decided to call and just make sure that they kind of knew what they had and just weren't giving the machine away. And then after I inquired with Dave, I wanted to see also, there's two versions of the sit-down cockpit arcade. One of them has a 19-inch monitor, which is what this is. There's another one that has the 25-inch ampliphone monitor, which also has a bigger amp sound. That's the one that's really sought after. Unfortunately, it's not this one, but it's still a really cool machine. It's fully working and everything. It's a vector game if you're not aware.
Yahoo! You're on fire, kid!
Also, this is what I'm talking about, guys. We got all kinds of retro tech. We got the RCA New Icon, old VHS camera, as well as a kind of generic Sears floor model. A couple little black and white CRTs. I have a couple of these, exact model. We've got a VHS player, DVD, some old Atari stuff, which is kind of cool. And then some jukeboxes, and then check this out, these like slot machines. I've never seen this one, but for it to be 2200, this one must be pretty sought after. I mean, it's Space Invaders, so that's pretty dope. But yeah, I mean, this one looks cool as well. I've had a few of these before, but never exactly these. I know they can have some value, so I might have to look into these as well. And then gumball machine, look at that. That's pretty dope. Looks like it's missing a little knob, but still pretty cool. So, actually thinking about grabbing this VCR. It does have the remote. I checked it for battery corrosion. I did get the batteries out. They were a little bit corroded, but it didn't look like it had transferred anything to the remote. So I just like this interface. And for 20 bucks, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on that as well. Let's see what else we can find. No one's got to check the closets too for vintage clothes. Speaking of, that's a pretty dope jacket right there. I don't know what he wants for that, but oh, there we go, 125. Sounds about right. There's some really nice patches on that, so super cool. Is there anything else? Like some, look at that Pro Tour windbreaker. What else do we got in here? Old starter jacket. I don't know if any of it's necessarily stuff that I want, but maybe. Look at that. That's pretty cool. The dad gear. Love to see it. Le Tigre. And check this out, guys. We got some vintage TMNT. Oh no, Donnie, your helmet. $5 with his helmet. Sounds like a pretty good price. 20 with the motorcycle. He's got his little nunchucks broken on the back, but still dope. I mean, there's just some cool ones in here you don't see very often. But that one's 7. Got a samurai guy, he's missing his arm. But yeah, fortunately, I'm not super versed on these. I know that's Leatherhead right there, though. Yeah, I might have to look into a few of these as well. Alright, let's see what they got downstairs, too. This is where the workshop is. Still pricing.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. So we got some trains back here. I've done decent with trains before, but I don't really know if I want to really get deep into this. Trains can kind of sell slow, but it just depends on what it is. Got a cool keyboard over here too.
Keith Hernandez!
I'm never gonna not think of Seinfeld when I see Keith Hernandez. A couple more toys down here. Like, none of these look super vintage. That's a pretty cool looking, what is that, a sloth riding a unicorn float? It's pretty interesting. We do have a few that are like super old. Like, look at this. Old iron, some old yo-yos. Antique blocks, cat and the fiddle. Definitely some cool stuff. This is what, a noisemaker? Yeah. Always cool. So I don't really know a lot about like vintage Hot Wheels and things like that. These definitely look cool. I think the only thing I really know is to look for red lines or like real rubber tires or specific paint jobs. I don't see anything like that here, but like I said, I am definitely no expert when it comes to stuff like this, but still pretty cool just to see some of these like weird ones. This will be the pile I'm taking home. Let's get back to the studio and take a closer look at everything. So I started going through all these Legos and I've pulled out all of the stuff that I think that's kind of special. Look how many minifigures are in this set. I mean, there has to be like 100 in our set, probably maybe not that many, but all these accessories, like so many helmets. Some of this stuff I've never even seen before. Like, look at this guy right here. He's got like the centipede leg. But yeah, there's so many crazy pieces, and not just that, like all this paperwork too. It's just so cool to see. I mean, you've got like super old stuff. I remember this from like the early 80s. And some of these pieces, where is it at? Maybe one of these. It's from like 84 or something. But yeah, I mean, but not only just Legos, seeing some of these other just random knickknacks, you know, of course you're going to have some change, a little shiny rock. I think that's an eraser from Goosebumps. Yeah, look at that. Sheriff, Michael, all these little things. That Donald. This is still sealed. Don't even really know what that's for. And then the random Alien Sworn manual. But look at this. This was the most random thing. We got Lenny Kravitz. Thank you for purchasing. All right, so taking a closer look at this. You saw me pick this up. This was 20 bucks. Just super nice condition. And the fact that it has its like little belt strap thing, I think that's just a good price on that. You also saw me pick up this VCR with remote, 20 bucks. I could have swore I plugged this in to test it when I was there and I saw this little interface light up. But it might have been when I was like trying to pull comps for it or something. I don't know, but I did plug it in and it does not power on. Might be a simple issue. I don't know if it's worth the time for me to try to fix it. Maybe. PS2 controller looks to be in working condition. I haven't tested it yet. $5. But yeah, look at this paperwork. You really didn't see this very much. All this is in super nice condition. So Super Dodgeball, World Cup B-Ball, Silent, these little bunch of these little inserts. These go to Super Nintendo games. Same with this. Paperboy, Super Nintendo manual. More of these guys. Look at that. World Cup 94. Heck yeah. Got Bubsy. This Batman Returns. Oh yeah. Sega Visions. Look at that. That's pretty cool. NBA Jam poster and manual. Aladdin, Super Nintendo is the Capcom version. That's pretty sure that goes with it. Registration card. There's so many of these, so I'll be pairing these with a lot of complete in-box games I already have, but I'm probably just going to hold on to these to pair it with other things. Jeopardy, got Aladdin and Jurassic Park, another Sega Visions. I imagine these are most of the things. Ooh, look at that, the freaking poster to the World Cup 94. More of this. What the heck is that? Just like a Kenner Action line. That's kind of cool. I don't know if I don't think that's the cartridge bag, but there's more inserts. This would have went with your console. And then to the PC games. Picked up Oddball, just a weird computer game. Definitely had to snag Daggerfall, just super cool. Got Siberia 1 and 2, figured I would just lot them up. I could not leave StarCraft. Like I said before, it's not worth a lot, but it's just like one of the greatest games ever made. And then Simcopter, that music, baby. And then also from the NES stuff, I didn't want to just like buy everything, but I just bought these two just because they're quick, easy sells. It came with a manual, 25 bucks. And mostly I bought it just because the condition is just super nice on this. It's not first print, it is 3-screw, not 5-screw, oval seal, so about mid-production. Same with this, this is, it's not as nice as the other one, but for 20 bucks, couldn't leave it behind. And then as far as the cameras go, we've got the Fujifilm 12 megapixel, also came with a charger. Same with the CyberShot, just really nice condition on this. These are just kind of sought after, and again, it has the charger. It has this battery thing too. I'm not even sure if this goes with this particular camera. Like, look at this. I thought this was kind of cool too. Little SD card holder, metal case. This is pretty nice. We got a charger. And lastly here, we just have a few things I'm just gonna keep and use at the studio. So we've got these little stands, and if you've never seen these before, they're kind of like little wedge things that go in there and then they, with pressure, kind of grip around it. They're for action figures, but I mean, they can also be used to, you know, hold this Metroid stand, or Metroid figure here. Goes around her waist. And then what the heck am I gonna do with this, and why is this important? This is actually kind of a nice gun here. Brand new, these are very expensive. This is LT, that means low temp hot glue gun. I don't have one of these as far as like a low temp, and that could be for very specific jobs that require things to not get super hot. Look at all these glue sticks. I think this will be enough for a lifetime, but the diameter of these glue sticks are very specific to this model, so I'm gonna get cleaned up and probably just add it to the tools here at my shop. And in case you're wondering how I knew about the Star Wars arcade machines, it's because I actually own both versions, including the cockpit model with that 25-inch Amplifon monitor. Huge thanks to Dave at Professional Estate Sales here in Atlanta for having me out. If you're in the area, definitely check them out. It looks like they've got a couple of sales going on right now. Happy hunting, everyone.